ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
New questions in the investigation into the disappearance of Anna Walsh in Massachusetts. Her husband is facing murder charges, and now there's word that at one point investigators got a ransom demand. ABC News contributor Brad Garrett is a former FBI agent.
One is the odd number of $127,000. Why you would ask for that specific amount seems odd. And no ability for anyone to pay a ransom. Now the other thing is, they mentioned in this note that it's Anna that owes them $127,000. It's the oddest thing. In other words, they're sending a ransom note, but they're complaining about the people that they're holding, that they're responsible for paying it.
The hunt is on for two escapees after a prison break in Virginia. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise.
Federal agents say Bruce Callahan and Alder Marin Sotelo, who's charged in connection with the murder of a North Carolina deputy, escaped from Piedmont Regional Jail outside of Richmond 20 hours apart. A recent investigation found the jail was concerned about malfunctioning locks and was also dealing with a staffing shortage, down 27 security officers. Marin Sotelo's sister has now been arrested for her alleged role in the plot, accused of buying the getaway car, a red Mustang, which her brother was last seen driving.
And nearly 3 months after the Super Bowl, the final ratings are in. 115 million people watched the Chiefs beat the Eagles, a new record. This is ABC News.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Does that old tractor or lawnmower have more electrical tape or duct tape holding it together than you want to admit? Well, maybe it's time to see Phil Sheehan and his staff at NC Tractor for a new Massey Ferguson tractor or mower. Massey Ferguson is a company that's been around for over 175 years. That says a lot about a company. And paired with Phil Sheehan, who's been in business for over 25 years, that says a lot about Phil and his staff. Knowledgeable about their product, and they stand behind every sale. Massey Ferguson is the last tractor you'll ever need. NC Tractor, a dependable and reliable company that'll be there after the sale. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford.
This is Kevin Pleasant here in the Blue Room taking a look at your weather forecast. You can expect today to be mostly sunny, high near 71, gusty winds up to 24 miles per hour. Overnight, mostly clear and lows around 41. For Thursday, mostly sunny, highs around 74. Overnight, Thursday, mostly clear with lows around 51. And then for Friday, mostly sunny, highs reaching about 73, wind gust up to 18 miles per hour. This has been your weather forecast here on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherford.
And I'm Lou Gillum in the Blue Room. Right now it's 47 degrees and clear skies at WCAB. Our obituaries for this morning: Brenda Sue Boyder, 77, of Forest City, passed away on Sunday, April 2nd, at hospice in Shelby. A memorial service will be held at 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon at Paget and King. The family will receive friends following the service in the chapel. Paget and King in charge of the arrangements for Brenda Sue Boyder. Yvonne Gossett Spicer, 83, of Chesney, passed away on Wednesday, April 19th at West Village in Greenville, South Carolina. A gathering of her members will be held at 11 o'clock Saturday morning at Paget and King. Burial will be at the Riverside Baptist Church in Forest City. Paget and King in charge of the arrangements for Yvonne Gossett Spicer. Robert Ayers, age 80, of Cliffside, passed away on Thursday, April the 20th. A celebration of life will be held at 12 noon on Saturday at the Prospect Baptist Church Social Hall at 2610 Prospect Church Road in Mooresboro. Robert Morgan Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements for Robert Ayers, age 80, of Cliffside. James Edward Jed Doggett, 59, of Lake Lure, passed away on March the 1st. The family will receive friends at 10 o'clock Saturday morning at Matt Mahan's Funeral Home. A celebration of life will be held at Matt Mahan's Saturday morning beginning at 11. Burial will be at the Rutherford City Cemetery. Matt Mahan's Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements for James Edward Jed Doggett, 59, of Lake Lure. Linda Lynn Nolan Kimmerer, 82, of Ball State, passed away at her home on Tuesday, March the 7th. Funeral services will be held Saturday morning, and this will be at 11 o'clock at the Golden Church of the Brethren, and this church is on Cane Creek Mountain Road in Boston. There will be a reception to follow, and this will be at the Kimmerer family residence. Paget and King in charge of the arrangements for Linda Lynn Nolan Kimmerer, age 82, of Boston. Edna Mae Shrewsbury, 64, of Forest City, passed away Friday, April the 28th at Colonial Manor. Funeral services will be at 1 o'clock, and that will be today at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service, and this will be at the funeral home. Burial will be at the Grace Creek Baptist Church Cemetery. Harrelson Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements for Edna Mae Shrewsbury, age 64, of Forest City. Wade Ledford, 64, of Spindale, passed away on Friday, April the 28th at Rutherford Regional. A celebration of life will be held from 2 until 4 on Sunday at the Spindale Fellowship Holiness Church. Harrelson Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements for Wade Ledford, age 64, of Spindale. Tommy James Wishon, 48, of Ellenboro, passed away on Monday, May the 1st. A memorial cookout will be held at 5 o'clock on Saturday, May the 20th. That's Saturday, May 20th, and this will be at the residence of Madison Wishon at 129 Van Dyke Road in Forest City. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements for Tommy James Wishon, age 48, of Ellenboro. Gloria Jean Jackson Manuel, 87, of Forest City, passed away April the 25th. A service will be held at the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses on Birch Hutchins Road in Forest City. This will be on Saturday, May the 13th. Saturday, May 13th at 3 o'clock. Crow's Mortuary in charge of the arrangements for Gloria Jean Jackson Manuel. You can hear complete obituaries at 11:35 this morning and then again at 5:08 this afternoon. Bill O'Reilly is next.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, if you are a timeshare owner, you're probably upset that your yearly dues continue to increase. Lone Star Transfer guarantees the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and done in a specific time frame. They're the only company you can trust, having helped more than 18,000 owners legally and permanently get out. So please call Lone Star Transfer 855-551-7066 or visit LoneStarTransfer.com. On this Wednesday, former Biden Chief of Staff Ron Klain gave an interview to a leftist internet person in which he said Vice President Harris is doing a great job, and much of the criticism of her is racist and sexist. Instead of challenging that imbecilic statement, the podcast woman just nodded like a windblown puppet. There are two issues here. The first one is obvious. Kamala Harris has some of the lowest poll numbers we've seen in quite some time. So how could she be doing a great job? Wait, Klain explained that. The American public is racist and sexist. Now I understand. The next question is, does Ron Klain really believe the blather he is uttering? Impossible to know. But I can tell you that many political people on both sides often believe what they want to believe. And what they want to believe is anything that might help them or their party. Like most in the Biden White House, Klain had no interest in verifiable truth. He lived in Biden land for 2 years. The truth never came up. Al Gore once wrote a book called An Inconvenient Truth about the dangers of climate change. Then the former vice president hopped on a private jet flying around the country promoting the book. But compared to Kamala, Gore was Thomas Jefferson, who was VP to John Adams. It's also maddening. If Kamala Harris is doing a great job, I'm Michelangelo. Back after this. Hey, DirecTV viewers, Bill O'Reilly here, inviting you to watch the No Spin News on the First TV every night, 8 p.m. Eastern. The 2024 election coming up fast. Pundits parade from channel to channel, pushing nothing but speculation and their own partisan agenda. All that stops now with me, Bill O'Reilly, on the First TV. So please join me every night, 8 p.m., for the No Spin News on the First TV, DirecTV channel 347. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Well, it's springtime. It may not really feel like it, but it is. The sun's shining, the birds are singing, and Tony's Produce is once again in full bloom. Literally. Gorgeous flowers, hanging baskets for Mother's Day and Memorial Day, and just in a truckload of fresh fruits and vegetables. I got some tomatoes up there the other day. They were absolutely delicious. Beautiful door wreaths for spring and summer, homemade sweet treats and cakes made by locals, honey, jams, cantaloupes, watermelons, fresh strawberries. Tony's is ready to let the summer good times roll. And now 7 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays 9 to 7, Wednesdays 9 to 6, and Sundays 10 to 6. 773 North Washington Street in Rutherford, 287-9495. That's Tony's Fresh Produce Market. They've got a huge load of plants, ferns, geraniums, and a whole lot more. And check out those delicious tomatoes. Not homegrown yet, but they're good.
John B. Jones grew up in Texas, so when the Civil War broke out, he joined the Confederates as a private in Terry's Rangers, a unit comprised of Texas Rangers. Because he was talented and ambitious, he eventually rose to the adjutant general of the brigade. Following the Civil War, John decided he no longer wanted to live in the United States, so he visited Mexico and Brazil as an emissary for disgruntled Confederates looking for a place to start a colony. However, he returned and recommended against the project. Once he decided to stay in this country, Jones put his skills to good use. On May 2, 1874, Jones joined the Texas Rangers as the major of the newly formed Frontier Battalion. It was a force of about 500 men stationed along the Texas frontier from the Red River to the Rio Grande. Their job was to make sure hostile Indians didn't cross the border from Mexico and to control the outlaws that were already in Texas. 4 years after he joined the Texas Rangers, Sam Bass was creating havoc in the Texas frontier, and John Jones was told to run him down. And that's just what he did. For 4 months, Jones's Rangers stayed on the trail of Sam Bass. In July of 1878, Jones's men encountered the Bass gang as they attempted to rob a bank, killing Sam Bass. Ironically, although Jones's Frontier Battalion performed unbelievable feats in quelling the lawless, and John led them until his death at the age of 46, few people today know of John Jones the lawman, but we all know of Sam Bass the outlaw. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
The Atlanta Braves are back, and this 2023 team is ready for another epic season.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Base hit. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
Tonight, it's another big National League East showdown for the Braves as they take on Jazz Chisholm and the Miami Marlins at Lone Depot Park. Braves radio's on the air at 5:25 Eastern, 4:25 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
Well, it's Wednesday morning, May the 3rd, and it's time to start the call-around portion of the morning report. And as always, we always start with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department, and he sounds like he's chipper this morning. Good morning, Deputy Chapman.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing great.
Good. What you got to report this morning?
In the last 24 hours, Sheriff's Office responded to 189 calls for service, have 165 incarcerated in the jail, and made 13 arrests as far as arrest reports goes. We had a Amber Nicole Ray of a Lake Lure arrested for possession of methamphetamine and possessed drug paraphernalia. We had a Bridget Nicole of Bostic arrested for possession of methamphetamine, received a $5,000 unsecured bond. Had a Joe Dean Byers of Ruffton arrested for assault on a female, placed on no bond. Had a Shane Preston Cooper of Rutherford Arrested for driving while license revoked. Placed on a $500 secure bond. Out of Wilbur, Henry Gordon of Shelby. Arrested for simple possession of Schedule 6 controlled substance. Possessed drug paraphernalia. Driving while license revoked. We had a Andrew Garing Dalton of Forest City. Arrested for secret peeping. Second-degree trespass. Was placed on a $1,000 secure bond. I have Charles Dean Green of Ellenborough, arrested for breaking and entering. That's all we have as far as arrest reports, as far as incident reports go. We have a John Earl Wharton reported felony larceny motor vehicle, Forest City. Had the Christian Fellowship Missionary Methodist Church reported and damage to property. Had Adam Kyle Tipton reported breaking and entering, a larceny, and larceny of a firearm. Heather Danielle Queen reported obtaining property by false pretenses. And that's all we have for today.
Deputy Chapman, you have a good day today. Be careful, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
20 minutes past 7 o'clock. Melissa is with us from 911. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good. What you got to report this morning?
Last 24 hours, the Rutherford County 911 Communications has processed a total of 431 911 and administrative calls. These consisted of 51 for emergency medical services, 189 for the Sheriff's Office, 84 for Forest City, 44 for Rutherfordton, 6 for Lake Lure, and 29 for Spindale. For fire calls, the Bills Creek Fire Department responded to a fire investigation. Forest City responded to a motor vehicle accident. Lake Lure to a brush fire. Spindale to a structure fire. They were assisted by Rutherfordton and Hudlow. And Union Mills responded to a motor vehicle accident. And that's all.
All right, Melissa, y'all have a good day today, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
Ruby Taylor's with us this morning with the report from the SDO area. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing okay.
Well, good. What you got to report this morning?
The fire department didn't have any calls, and on our birthday calendar, I've got Bobby Bright and Bria Potter having birthday. Excuse me. Birthday, and I hope they have a nice day, and the signs are in the rains today and go into the secrets tomorrow. And that's all I got, Lou.
All righty, Ruby. You have a good day. We'll talk to you again soon.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, if you haven't been to the Habitat for Humanity Clothing Center, you're going to be missing out on a lot of great deals. They're located right behind actually, they're just right across the street from the Pelicans. And they've got like new clothing for men, women, children. They've got handbags, coats, jackets, sleepwear, shoes, jewelry, accessories, and a whole lot more. You never know what you're going to find. A beautiful put-together store that is perfect for browsing around, and you're not going to be disappointed. Hours are Wednesday through Friday from 10 until 5, Saturdays 9 to 3. That's the Habitat Restore Clothing Center, 269 West Main Street in Forest City. The number's 828-229-3118, and all donations are appreciated.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous!
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course! They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
23 minutes past 7 o'clock. Chris is with us this morning. He's got the report from up around the Chimney Rock, Fairfield area. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm great.
What you got to report this morning?
Well, Lake Lure responded to a woods fire yesterday, and Bills Creek did as well. And Bills Creek and Lake Lure responded to a public assist call yesterday. And that's it on the call report.
With all that wind yesterday, I don't think that probably helped with the fires, did it?
Not at all.
Oh, my. All right, Chris.
Luckily, was able to catch it quickly.
Good, good. Chris, you have a good day, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Y'all have a great day as well.
You too. Bye-bye. It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale. Well, we're going from Lake Lure back down to Boston. Got DeVern Upton with us this morning. Good morning, DeVern.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great.
What you got to report this morning?
Well, over here in Boston, we have a temperature of 49 degrees. Fire department had no calls, but let's remember all our volunteer firefighters. Food boxes will be given out today at Chase Ministry there on Chase Highway from 9 to 10:30. Don't forget to go by Boston Florist and order your prom and order for Mom. And Memorial Days are coming up. One will be at Mount Harmony on Boston Sunshine Highway this week, Sunday, and at Bills Creek Baptist Church in Lake Lure Sunday. And go by Washburn's and check their items out, and I'm sure they would make you a nice basket for Mom. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
DeVern, you as well, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's the store folks in Western North Carolina depend on. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply. It's like a superstore. Deer corn, $11.05 for 50 pounds. Cob corn, $10. They have plenty of deer plant supplies. Check on the lower prices on propane, $12.99 for a 20-pound tank. Mulch, gravel, rocks, and supplies for beautiful landscaping. That's available at Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply at lower prices. Open Monday through Saturday. If you want a feed and seed store that carries so much more, including new and used farm equipment, then come on over to Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply, 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton. And speaking of Farmer's Friend, the gates are open. They are open now officially for business at Farmer's Friend. Got anything you need to pick up today? They're ready. Now in the Mount Vernon area, checking in with Cousin Robbie. Good morning, Robbie.
Good morning, Cuz. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's another good morning out there.
Yeah.
Seems like.
I need to get a few more family members on this morning report.
I know it. You can just have your family reunion every day then, couldn't?
That's right. What's going on in your end of the world?
Well, on my end of the world, Hudlow and Ruston, we assisted Spindale with a structure fire yesterday, and Ruston run a medical call through the night. And let's see, Just a reminder about the blood drive today at the Robeson Fire Department from 10 to 3 p.m. And also our grand opening will be, or re-grand opening for Station 1 will be tomorrow, May the 4th, from 3 to 5:30. So don't forget about that. And Fab Fest will be Friday, starting at 6 p.m. on Central Street. And also, tonight is the Town Council meeting. So if anybody's interested in going to Robeson Town Council, it'll be at 129 North Main Street, and that'll start at 5:30 this evening. And I also would like to say that we did take delivery of our new mini pumper yesterday, so it's exciting.
So that's going to be on display tomorrow, too?
Yep, it'll be on. It will be. It'll be on display tomorrow, and that was one reason the company that we bought it from, once they found out, it was originally going to be delivered this Friday, but Chief sent them an email and told them, we was going to have the re-grand opening this week, and they wanted to have that truck there so it could be on display for folks to see. So.
Good.
Yeah, so it's a lot of exciting things going on, just one day at a time. Hopefully it won't be much long. I mean, it'll be toward the end of the year, but Station 2 will be open, and that's where that truck will be housed at.
That's where I was going. My question, ask you, where you said number 1, where is number 2, or is number 2 in the process of being open?
Well, number 2 is in the process of being built, obviously. It's on Beaver Road right beside Broad River Water Authority. So that's where Station 2 is going, and it's going to help better serve the Union community back that way, which we've always served that community anyway, but this is just going to be a station a little closer to them that's going to get them better response and quicker response time. So, and folks is anxious to see that and glad that it's happening. So we're excited about it too.
Have you already started building it, or just broke ground for it, or?
Well, we broke ground last year. I think, my days and times gets mixed up because we set so many different dates to do the grand opening and all, but we ended up doing the groundbreaking around October, November, and then they started building, and they actually got the frame, the roof, the sides, and the last I heard, the rock mason was going to be there this week to start putting the rock on front of the building. So the outer shell is done. It's just a matter of getting everything starting on the inside now, the plumbing, the wiring, the finished product. So if anybody's interested, they could go on. The fire department does have a Facebook page. So if you want to go on Facebook and check it out, there's some pictures on there that's been updated through some of the process. Get nosy, just go on Facebook, right?
Right. And I'm not on Facebook, but I'll go as far as I can before it says you've got to open an account to continue.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, but anytime anybody wants to ride by and check it out, ride by and see the process of it. And like I said, hopefully if everything goes good, timelines keep going, hopefully around November, toward the end of the year, we'll be able to turn key and open it up, and we'll have a ground opening over there as well. So we'll once we figure that out, we'll push those dates out.
Will somebody be in that building 24 hours too, like they are at the main building where you are now?
That's the plan. Right now, I mean that's if everything goes good. It's again, you plan things out, but you have to still go by how things go. But
budgets.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah.
But that is the plan, to have somebody there 24/7. So
I know that's what we're doing tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It's been down. Yeah.
You
want to give everybody everything they ask for, but the money only goes so far. Do the best you can.
Well, that's it. I mean, you plan for it and you hope for it, but it's like they say, anything can happen within a blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm.
And there you are, you're set back, and it may ruin a few plans, but it's okay though. You got a plan, and hopefully in the future it'll work out, but you want it to work out right now, but all we can do is just hope and plan.
Yep, that's true. Well, Robbie, you have a good day today. Be careful, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, sounds like a plan. You have a good day.
Right. Yeah. Well, me and Tracy will see you tomorrow. We're coming tomorrow, and then I'm gonna leave because I got to go to the commissioner's stuff. So, but yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, that sounds great.
All
See
right.
you then.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
It's 7:33, and we're checking into the Cherry Mountain Bostic area, sunshine, all that good place down that way. Good morning, Sue Price.
Good morning, Lou.
How is Richard doing? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Well, he's doing pretty good.
Oh, good. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
Good, good. What you got to report this morning?
Well, it's kind of quiet over this way. I haven't had anything from the fire department. I only have one birthday today, and it's on my Dungas Creek church calendar for Brianna Thorpe, so I hope Brianna's going to have a good day today. And the only announcement is the community Bible study going on up at Golden Valley Church, 6 p.m. on Tuesday evenings. They're studying the book of Revelations, and they'll have a light supper served from 5 to 5:45. And everyone's invited. I don't know how many they've been having going out for that, but I hope they're having a good study on that. I know it's an interesting book.
It's a scary book.
It is. but it's good to be studying it. I guess that's all I got this morning, Lou. It's just quiet and calm over here looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
All right, Sue, you too, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
25 minutes before 8 o'clock, and we're heading to see what Tina White's got to tell us what's going on in the Shingle Holler area. I say Shingle Holler. Morning, Tina.
Good morning, Lou. I miss you.
Well, I miss you too.
It's good to hear your voice this morning.
Well, thank you.
Well, up here in Shingle Holler, it is 46 degrees, and the sun is bright, so it'll be shining in your eyes if you're driving east. But so be careful out there with that. We have, the fire department was all quiet the past 24 hours. We have birthdays today for Jesse Airwood, Jen Lauder, and Heaven Hoffman. And then over at the Whistle Stout Bank, my friend Miss Selena Balkan, it's her birthday. So if you're in Boston, go by and see her today, too. Get a cupcake or something. For announcements, the tent revival, it's an old-fashioned tent revival going on Piney Knob Road. Tonight, it's the last night at 7 p.m., and there's special singing. Also, at Piney Knob Baptist Church tonight, starts at 6. There's a turkey dinner, but they want you to bring a dessert or a side and come eat, and then have a mission night at 7. Everybody's invited to that. Pinnacle Elementary School is having a play tomorrow night. It starts at 6:30, and the public's invited. Is that I can't read my own writing.
You have that same problem too?
It's a hopping play, because they're inviting everyone to come out and enjoy that at Pinnacle Elementary School at 6:30 tomorrow evening. And Saturday, May 6th, from 11 to 3, the Rutherford Little League is having their 2023 Fun Day at the park. So they're calling all kids. It doesn't matter who you are to come out and play at Crestview Ballpark. There's going to be ballpark food. They'll have a vendor for snow cones and fried goodies such as funnel cakes and fried Oreos. And everybody's invited to come out to that. There'll also be some tickets sold there, so raffle tickets. That's this Saturday at Crestview Park from 11 to 3. And I think that's all I have right now.
That Crestview Park is beautiful, isn't it?
It is, and the kids love it, and there's shade where if I don't want to get up and run around or I get tired, I have a place to sit down in the shade. I love it. It's nice.
It really, really is. Well, Tina, you have a good day today, and we'll talk to you again soon.
You too, Lou. God bless you, and stay safe out there.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Well, mark your calendars, folks. It's a Mother's Day extravaganza warehouse sale at Cozy Home, Thursday, May 4th from 10 until 4, Friday, May 5th, 10 until 4, and Saturday, May 6th from 9 until 2. They've got tons of sheet sets, assorted colors of designer towels, plush blankets, bathrobes, bed pillows, gorgeous new spring throw pillows, and even doggy beds. They have a perfect gift for Mom. Cozy Home is at 181 Duke Street in Forest City. They're right beside Henson Building Supply. Coming up on 20 minutes before 8 o'clock, and it's time to head to... Brenda, you got the longest driveway to get up.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I need my cardio workout done.
I hear you.
What you doing?
I'm doing fine, and it's so good to hear your voice. I miss your voice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
it's nice to be missed by somebody.
Do what?
It's nice for somebody to miss you.
That's exactly right. So where is everybody? They had other things to do, huh?
Todd had to take his mama to the doctor, and Tracy, she's sick to her stomach this morning.
Oh, bless her heart.
Yeah. She wasn't feeling good yesterday. She was kind of sluggish yesterday going around, and
wow.
She just had a rough day.
Well, we hope everybody gets better. It's good to have somebody to fall back on, ain't it?
Yeah.
It ain't like you don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I can just about do it all with my eyes closed.
I started to say with your eyes closed, that's right.
One eye closed and one arm tied behind my back.
I hear you. Well, I was glad to hear on the news this morning they caught that man that killed them 5 people out yonder in Texas.
People going crazy.
I know it. You can't turn the news on anymore what they ain't been a shooting and a killing or a stabbing or something. It's a everyday occurrence.
And then they complain about people shopping online. You know, go in the stores. You can't go to a shopping center without keeping your ears open.
I know it. Grocery store or anything. You're right.
Yeah.
We're just not safe anymore. I think about a preacher I used to have years ago. He said, "You think it's bad now? You just wait. The Bible's very plain. It don't get any better. It gets worse." And I thought, he was right. He was dead on it.
Yep, that's right.
But, well, let's see. This is a wonderful Wednesday, and we hope everybody's having a good day. I've got 40 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays, any anniversaries, but in ways of announcements, Friday, May the 5th at the Union Mills Learning Center, 6 p.m. hot dog meal, and the cost is $6. 7 p.m. homegrown opens for Good Old Boys. There's no admission, but they have a tip jar for the band. Then Saturday, May the 20th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., celebrate May at the Mills Vendor event. Information about registering as a vendor or more about the event is on our Facebook page. And so far, that's all the announcements I know of. But I want to thank everybody for making my birthday yesterday. I had a wonderful birthday, and I appreciate everybody.
I got busy yesterday, and I kept saying, I got to call Brenda, and it just slipped by me. So happy birthday, Brenda Lake.
That's all right. Brenda wasn't at home. I left as soon as I got through with the morning.
Well, good. I don't feel bad now.
but and a month from today is a special lady's birthday, and I just happened to be talking to her.
Yeah, I'm going to hit the big 6'3".
Well, that's good. Yeah. I was 79.
Hey, bring it on. Just bring it on.
That's right. Bring them on. As long as we're above ground, that's what matters.
I know. That's all that matters.
That's right. But
I still got a lot to learn and a lot to do.
I've still got a lot to learn and a lot to do. You're right.
Yeah,
but I guess you better go to Ellenborough and check on Luther Sweet Things, see if everything's all right in Ellenborough.
You know, my mama told me the other day.
What?
This house is a mess. If I had to die, she said, if I died today, I'd be so embarrassed for anybody come in this house. I said, well, get up and clean it up.
No, you didn't say that. Your mama's old.
She can
like
still get up and run a vacuum cleaner. She knows how. I worked all day.
I know how she feels.
I know. Her and Rocky's there all day long. They could wash the dishes and make the laundry.
Make up the beds and empty the trash.
That's right.
Keep the clothes washed and vacuum the floor. I know what you mean.
Yep.
That's how come I get up so early. I do that so if I have a chance to go anywhere, I don't have to worry about not being able to walk through the house when I get back.
And the house ain't dirty. It's just
cluttered.
Yeah, you know, it's everyday stuff. There might be glass here and a dirty dish in the sink. It ain't like you can't set something down and have to move 15 things just to set one down.
No, it ain't going to be often that you're going to find a glass setting somewhere in my house, and I am not the best housekeeper in the world, don't get me wrong. And it ain't going to be, unless I've just eaten, you come in, there ain't going to be no dishes sitting in my sink. When I'm cooking, I wash my things as I dirty them and put them in the dish. Now, you'll find clean dishes in the dish drainer.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's me. Now, Rocky, you want to find, when you start running low on forks, I go to his desk because that's where they are.
You find them all, huh?
Find everything I need on Rocky's desk.
Oh, my goodness, that's so real. But it's good to talk to you, Lou, and you have a good day.
You too, Brendan. Take care.
Okay, catch you later.
Right, bye-bye.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there.
15 minutes before 8 o'clock, and we're at the end of the road. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning. I hope you're having a good day.
I am. What are you up to today?
Not a whole lot of anything. Just sitting here drinking coffee, eating breakfast, and watching traffic go by.
Well, that sounds good.
It is good.
I'm kind of doing about the same thing I can't eat.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Man, come on down and join us. But it's quiet out here this morning. Nothing going on. Well, the fire department didn't have anything yesterday, last night. They were quiet all night, so they're drinking coffee this morning. Doesn't know what's going on there, but we won't mind about a big yard sale coming up Saturday. That starts at 7 o'clock out here, so if you want to sell, just come on down, spread your stuff out. If you don't want to sell, come on down, look around, see what you can find to buy. And nothing else going on there, Lou. You have a great day up there. We'll talk to you next time.
All righty, Luther, you have a good one.
All right, take care now.
All right, bye-bye. Well, we have made it to the end of the road. We've been from one end of the county to the other, and now you know everything that's happening around Rutherford County. If you've got a birthday or anniversary, you can go ahead and call those in at 287-3356. The phone lines are clear, and I've got a couple of minutes that I can get those birthdays on. 287-3356. Get your birthdays and anniversaries in now.
The Atlanta Braves are back, and this 2023 team is ready for another epic season.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Base hit. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
Tonight, it's another big National League East showdown for the Braves as they take on Jazz Chisholm and the Miami Marlins at Lone Depot Park. Braves radio's on the air at 5:25 Eastern, 4:25 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
My whole identity had been wrapped up in being a soldier. To have that so violently ripped from me when I was wounded, I was lost for a very long time. When Wounded Warrior Project came into my life, being around the other warriors, people that had similar experiences that I did, it was a game changer for me. Having King join the group, that was the beginning of a really good friendship. It's a good time.
I first heard about Wounded Warrior Project through CQ. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I qualify But having been a part of it, it's kind of taught me that it's not just the wounds that you can see, but it's those that you can't.
When you do something like a peer support group with Wounded Warrior Project and come together from different walks of life, man, the growth is incredible. If not for Wounded Warrior Project, I really don't think that I'd be here today.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
Well, celebrating birthdays today, Lucas Tipton from the Sunnyview area, and he wins that cupcake this morning from the Whistle Stop Bakery. And also, having a birthday today, Selena at the Whistle Stop. She's having a birthday today, and the first 41 people to go by and wish her a happy birthday, well, she'll give you a free cupcake. So go by the Whistle Stop in Bostic, wish Selena a happy birthday, and get a free cupcake. And congratulations to Lucas Tipton. He gets that cupcake this morning. We'll also remind you about Granny B's in Spindale. Granny B's, you can get those sub sandwiches, or if you're trying to get rid of the bread, or maybe you're trying to get a lighter version of the bread, get that delicious whole wheat bread, or get the sandwich as a salad. That's what I do a lot of times. Just want a good fresh salad, have that ham, turkey, roast beef, put on your lettuce, cucumbers, onions, black olives, whatever you like on your sub, you can get it as a salad. And that's at Granny B's. They're on West Main Street in Spindale. Coming up on 10 minutes before 8 o'clock, coming up during the 8 o'clock hour, we have a phone call we're going to make, and we're going to check in with Wayne Rollins, see what's going on at Wayne's Lunchbox, see what's for supper tonight. And we got a lot of great music, and we missed the Braves game last night, kind of shorthanded. So the Braves did win last night, 6-0. We've got Braves baseball coming up tonight. Braves in Miami, airtime will be 5:25. You can hear that game right here on WCAB.
The Grand Rapids Press ran an article about Reverend Lewis Lehman, interim pastor at Calvary Church. Following the article, the newspaper sent him a questionnaire asking if the facts about him were accurately and fairly reported. Impressed by the paper's concern for integrity in reporting, Pastor Lehman used the incident to make a practical application in his Sunday message. He asked the congregation, "When you talk about other people in their absence, would you be willing to give them a written transcript of your comments? If you were required to do so, would that affect the content of your conversation? Would it make you think twice before you spoke?" Well, we know the questions are not practical in application, but they sure would change the nature of a lot of conversations. In one verse, the Bible gives 3 but powerful helps for healthy communication. 1, don't engage in speech that is harmful to others. If you can't think of anything good to say about the person, don't say anything at all is still good advice. 2, speak only those things that build the other person up. 3, realize that your speech also has an effect on others who may be listening. Make sure what you say leaves a positive influence. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
And if you remember the movie Steel Magnolias, Dolly Parton, Olympia Dukakis sitting on the couch, and Olympia says, "If you don't have anything nice to say about somebody, come sit by me." Well, to all those folks joining us by streamer, we're going to have to say we'll be back in just a few minutes, bring you back for ABC News, and then we'll have a little bit of local news. We'll check in with Wayne Rollins, and then we'll have the Word of Faith program that's coming up at 8:30 this morning right after sports. So streamers, we'll be right back with you.
Tonight, it's another big National League East showdown for the Braves as they take on Jazz Chisholm and the Miami Marlins at Lone Depot Park. Braves radio's on the air at 5:25 Eastern, 4:25 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
WCAB. Of his Texas neighbors because they had asked him to stop firing his assault-style weapon from his front porch. San Jacinto County Sheriff's Deputy Tim Keene.
There has been several arrests, but I can't go into the details on that.
One of those we know was arrested, suspected gunman Francisco Oropesa, who was found in a home about 20 miles from the killings, hiding under a pile of laundry in a closet. As to the gun that may have been used,
we may have the weapon, but we have to wait for ballistics. So I can't confirm.
There had been a $100,000 reward out for Oropesa's capture. Middle school children shot and killed, but not in the U.S., in the capital of Serbia. ABC's Britt Clement says a 7th grader is the accused gunman.
8 school children are dead. The 14-year-old student opening fire at a middle school in central Belgrade. A security guard was also killed and several other students injured. Now, the suspect is alleged to have used his father's gun. He was led away by police, his head covered to protect his identity. He's, of course, a teenager.
Those types of mass shootings are very rare in Serbia. The White House striking a deal with Mexico as the Biden administration prepares to send 1,500 troops to the border in anticipation of pandemic-era immigration measures expiring. Here's ABC Chief White House Correspondent Mary Bruce.
This is just one of several steps the White House is announcing as they prepare for the end of Title 42 next week. That, of course, is the public health policy that was used to quickly expel migrants during the pandemic. And overnight, the administration announcing this deal for Mexico to continue accepting migrants from Venezuela, Haiti, Cuba, and Nicaragua who are expelled from the border.
Most analysts expect the Federal Reserve to hike interest rates another quarter point at the conclusion of today's 2-day meeting. After that, the Fed is expected to halt the hikes, at least for a while, to see if the moves have any lasting impact on inflation. You're listening to ABC News.
Attention business owners. Stop throwing your hard-earned money away on rent. Imagine owning your own building and saving thousands every year. Sound impossible? Not if you use General Steel. General Steel can help you save thousands by owning your own custom-designed building. Just call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to see how much money you can save with General Steel. Our buildings come with a 50-year warranty, and thousands of companies, from Fortune 500 corporations to startups, have trusted the General with their building needs.
If you need to expand or start a new business, you really need General Steel.
I'm very impressed with General Steel. Everyone's been extremely helpful. I'd recommend General Steel to anyone looking to build a steel building.
Stop wasting money on rent. Call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to find out about all our popular quick construction kits, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building. Just call 888-747-8335 now. That's 888-74-STEEL.
Drug overdose deaths sharply up.
Overdose deaths linked to fentanyl have skyrocketed 279% between 2016 and 2021, according to federal data. The National Center for Health Statistics National Vital Statistics System looked at death certificate records. There was an increase from 5.7 deaths per 100,000 people to 21.6 deaths per 100,000. Data also showed an increase in overdoses linked to other drugs, but nowhere near the levels of fentanyl. Lionel Moyes, ABC News.
An investigation underway after somebody handed over money tainted with some sort of substance at a bank in Newark, New Jersey. 3 workers had to be hospitalized. Americans being held by other countries remembered in Washington.
Bring them all home. They gathered outside a block-long Georgetown, D.C. mural of family members wrongly detained by other countries. Deborah Tice's journalist son, Austin, has been held in Syria for more than a decade.
I just keep coming, I keep pressing and pushing.
Families of those held gathering near the 18 larger-than-life mural images of those still captive. Some, including Brittany Griner, who are now safely home. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
A great-grandmother from France has her sights set on next year's Olympics. Organizers are planning to open the race up to non-elite runners. If she can get in, it would be the 60th marathon for 83-year-old Barbara Humbert. This is ABC News.
When they're investigating, we can't stop watching. This month on BritBox, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching the detectives. Discover Britain's most bingeable mysteries, including the brand new season of Grace, the hit series based on the books by best-selling author Peter James. Unwind with the detectives you could watch all night long. Stream them all now exclusively on BritBox. Endlessly intriguing. Start your free trial at BritBox.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
This is Kevin Pleasant here in the Blue Room taking a look at your weather forecast. You can expect today to be mostly sunny, high near 71, gusty winds up to 24 miles per hour. Overnight, mostly clear and lows around 41. For Thursday, mostly sunny, highs around 74. Overnight, Thursday, mostly clear with lows around 51. And then for Friday, mostly sunny, highs reaching about 73, wind gust up to 18 miles per hour. This has been your weather forecast here on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherford.
And right now, 48 degrees and beautiful sunny skies. It's time to join Wayne Rollins, and he's going to tell us all about what's the menu for tonight is what, Wayne?
Good morning, Lou. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. You?
Doing good. Today is Wednesday, and it is a beautiful day outside. It's a little cool this morning, but it feels good, especially when you've been in here early working in the kitchen. So it feels good to come outside and take a little break for a minute. But Wednesday, of course, everybody knows tonight we'll be doing the chicken pie. Again, it's one of our favorite dishes that we do here, and I think it's a customer favorite too. They won't let me switch chicken pie Wednesday around too awful lot. They love coming and getting that chicken pie. So we'll have chicken pie tonight. Probably going to do either crowder peas or black-eyed peas. I ain't decided yet. We'll have some good old fresh steamed cabbage, and of course we'll have cornbread. And then we'll have all the other ones, the hamburger steaks, the fried flounder. If you hadn't tried the fried flounder, I think I said that right. It sort of sounded weird, but it's fried flounder.
Well, that's right.
You need to try it.
That's right, because you go to some fish camps, they've got the big whole flounder, or they've got it baked.
Right. And but you can get that. You can get the flounder during lunch too. That's one thing. You know, a lot of people. I know we do meats and vegetables at night, but we do a couple of meat and twos that you can get during lunch. We have the hamburger steaks, and of course we have the flounder, and then we have our calabash chicken and our grilled chicken. So you can get those as a meat and two during lunchtime. You just don't have the availability of all the vegetables. You still have like coleslaw, potato salad, fried okra, corn nuggets, or you can get the grilled vegetables. So you do have some options if you wanted to do that. Especially with the flounder, you can do a flounder sandwich, which is very popular during lunch. We usually do a good many of those throughout the day. So, of course, today, though, at lunchtime is the cheeseburger sub, which is definitely a great sandwich. If you've never tried it, I definitely recommend it on Wednesday. We take our hoagie bun that we use for our Phillies, throw it on the grill and let it warm up and grill up good, and then we take a hamburger patty and chop it up on the grill and put whatever you want on it. That's one of the things that you're not sort of limited to what you can do there, because we have bacon and mushrooms and jalapenos, all different types of cheeses, so you can make that cheeseburger sub anything you want. Throw some grilled onions on it, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, chili, slaw, whatever you want on that thing. And that's a really good sandwich, so you can definitely try that out. Of course, we've always got our salads and stuff during lunch, which is always a good thing, too, for people trying to watch what they're eating and this, that, and the other. And we, believe it or not, we have people that do the cheeseburger like that. Instead of putting it on the sub, they'll just drop it right on their salad. They'll take our chef salad without the ham and turkey and just put it right on top of it and make like a cheeseburger salad. So I heard that's pretty good, especially if you do the Thousand Island dressing. So a lot of different things that you can do over here in this little lunch box. So come on by and check us out, 11 to 2 for lunch, and then 3 to 7 at nighttime, Monday through Thursday. And if you have anything you want us to look at as far as catering, any kind of event you got coming up, better get with us quick. We're booking up pretty fast this year. We have been extremely blessed and got a lot of caterings on the books this year and had a lot this week. So I just appreciate everybody supporting us. Come on by and get us something good to eat. And then, of course, I do want to mention, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, we're going to have our big anniversary party here. We're going on 4 years, and it's just hard to believe that it's been that long already. I mean, it seems like I just opened up a couple of weeks ago, but we'll be here 4 years next Thursday. I know you guys are going to be out here a couple of times that day and be doing live broadcasts from here, and we're going to be giving away prizes all day, and you'll be entering a drawing for a big prize that's going to be given away that evening. So going to have a lot of stuff, probably have some specials as far as food goes. We're just going to have a big celebration, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, May the 11th.
Somebody asked me if I really was being truthful when I said, me and my nephew come on Mondays when you've got meatloaf. We eat meatloaf on Mondays. You're my witness. I was there Monday night, right?
You definitely was. That's a fact, and you wasn't the only one. We had a great Monday. I think we sold out of meatloaf about 6:45, so we got almost to 7 o'clock. And we rotate that. Meatloaf's every other week now because we do meatloaf on Mondays, and then we do salmon patties on Monday. So that's always a good item too. People don't like cooking salmon patties in their house because it stinks it up. So let the lunchbox stink it up for you and do the salmon patties here. So yeah, meatloaf's a good one. A lot of meatloafs. People are picky about meatloaf. Some people put a lot of peppers and stuff and onions, and sometimes you can taste that thing for a couple of days. It keeps on giving back after that. But you just have to. We've been fortunate. We got a good recipe for a meatloaf, and we've been doing it for years. And a lot of people like it. Some people even get it without the ketchup sauce. They get it with brown gravy on it.
Now, is the meatloaf? Have you got Italian seasoning in it? Italian tomatoes, or is that the ketchup on?
I've got a few things in there. I can't tell people that.
I know that. I'm picking up an Italian taste.
Well, you never know. There might be something in there, but you just have to keep working at it, and you might figure that one out.
Maybe that's what makes it so good. It makes you want to come back.
Well, that's a good thing. We do have a lot of repeat customers, and we try to make this a family atmosphere where you walk in the door. Most of them know. My girls do a great job up front of getting to know people and knowing their names, and a lot of them even know what they're going to order before they do. So they'll call them by their name and say, hey, you getting this hamburger steak today, or you getting your hot dog today? And, that makes our place a little bit special, and I just appreciate the girls taking that effort to know the customers and get to know them. So you're sort of like family when you walk in here. And, if you ain't here and you're supposed to be here a couple of days and you ain't come by, then we calling people, checking up on you, seeing how you're doing. So that's what it's all about.
One other thing I'm going to compliment you on, of course, Mama loves your chicken pie, but the flounder, if you go to another, like a fish camp, whatever, that flounder, you may see it swallowing and just floating in the grease, but your flounder, you're not tasting it or feeling that heavy, greasy feel 20 minutes after you eat.
Well, that, again, we're a smaller place, and a lot of times when we do the flounder like that, we cook it to order. So a lot of the fried foods that we do are pretty much cooked to order. Sometimes we cook ahead on the chicken tenders and the okra, but that flounder never gets cooked until somebody orders it. So when you order it, you got about 5.5 minutes, and it'll be done. And whether you get it on a plate or you get it, on a sandwich. So that's one thing with us being as small as we are, we're able to do that and not have to cook ahead. So that's one thing that is fortunate for us, to have a small place like this.
Wayne, you have a good day. Don't hang up. I got to ask you a question before we break away. So I'll come right back to you. But we'll have a look at some of the local news right after this.
You call the shots. Get savings on your new device at Bark Mobile. You make the call to get a new free Samsung Galaxy 5G smartphone when you switch. Then call the shots with an unlimited data plan. A single line is just $40 per month with autopay. Get the device you want plus unlimited data to stream, surf, download, message, and be ready for anything. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit mybarkmobile.com/terms and conditions. Offer expires June 30, 2023.
Well, everybody mark your calendars. It's a Mother's Day extravaganza warehouse sale at Cozy Home. Thursday, May 4th from 10 until 4, Friday, May 5th from 10 until 4, and Saturday, May 6th, 9 until 2. They've got tons of sheet sets, assorted colors of designer towels, plush blankets, bathrobes, bed pillows, gorgeous new spring throw pillows, and even some doggy beds. And just in time for Mother's Day, your dog may be a mama. She needs her a new doggy bed. They've got the perfect gift for mom. Cozy Home is at 181 Duke Street in Forest City. They're right beside Henson Building Supply. Let Mom know just how special she really is with a beautiful flower arrangement from Bostic Florists. The professional staff at Bostic Florists can make the most unique arrangements to the sweetest traditional one just for your special someone. Now they have home decor items like framed pictures and art, candle holders, candles of all sizes, colors, vases, baskets, lifelike artificial flowers, and more. They also have silk permanent cemetery pieces. So be sure to get your order in now for Mother's Day, Memorial Day, and the prom is just around the corner. Call 245-2884. Bostic Florist, 196 North Main Street in Bostic. 15 minutes past 8 o'clock. We'll have that sheriff's report in just a couple of minutes. Coming up at 8:30 this morning, we have the Word of Faith program. Well, on Friday, the North Carolina State Board of Elections announced that voters will be required to show valid identification in order to vote in the 2023 municipal elections. The North Carolina Supreme Court released its groundbreaking 5-2 decision on the state's voter ID court case, Holmes versus Moore, early on Friday. State Board of Elections will work immediately to put the necessary process in place to ensure a smooth rollout of voter photo identification requirement in the 2023 elections as required by the court order that, according to Patrick Gannon, a spokesperson for the board. He went on to say this includes informing voters about the change and the acceptable forms of identification for voting, ensuring any voter without an ID can get one, training the county boards on its implementation, updating forms and envelopes for absentee voting, creating and printing new signage for polling places, and many other efforts. Now, in the case of Holmes versus Moore, the state's highest court overturned a previous ruling by the outgoing Supreme Court, which at the time consisted of a lame duck 4-3 Democratic majority. The previous ruling had affirmed the decision of a lower court to invalidate a 2018 voter identification law, citing racial discrimination as the reason for its dismissal. Holmes versus Moore was a debate over whether the trial court's order finding that a law imposing a photo identification requirement for voters violates the equal protection guarantee of Article 1, Section 19 of the North Carolina Constitution was supported by evidence in the record and properly applied governing legal standards that, according to the North Carolina Judicial Branch website. In the 2018 general election, North Carolina voters in favor of a constitutional amendment to require showing a valid ID at the ballot box by a wide margin for the Tar Heel State standards, 55% in favor to 45% against. The vote outcome happened in spite of at least one Democratic-aligned group spending more than $7.7 million against voter ID and the other 2018 ballot amendments. The General Assembly enacted the voter ID law, eventually Senate Bill 824, a few weeks after North Carolina voters approved adding an ID requirement to the state constitution. North Carolina's top two elected Democrats, Governor Roy Cooper and Attorney General Josh Stein, did not release a statement on the Holmes versus Moore voter ID decision, but released statements on another court decision. In a trio of rulings, the North Carolina Supreme Court restored the state's voter ID law, took state courts out of petition, gerrymandering disputes, and ended voting for felons who have not completed their sentences. Again, in a trio of rulings, the North Carolina Supreme Court restored the state's voter ID law, took state courts out of partisan gerrymandering disputes, ending voting for felons who have not completed their sentences. Moore agreed with all three of the court's decisions. The decisions handed down by the North Carolina Supreme Court have ensured that our Constitution and the will of the people of North Carolina are honored. That according to the reports. We'll have that sheriff's report right after this. For complete and professional auto service, visit Tri-City Tire. They care about their customers, and it shows. They offer complete auto services in brakes, alignments, tune-ups, oil changes, inspections, also lift kits, and of course, complete tire service. Also tires for commercial, farm tractors, and ATVs. They also carry mowers and power equipment by Red Max. Tri-City Tire Service, 221 Daniel Road in Forest City, or call 828-287-8778. Tri-City Tire Service, your local tire and auto service center.
At Insurance Service Associates, we want to be your insurance agent. We try to make it easier for you. When you ask, we will shop your insurance with multiple companies. We don't charge extra fees for making a payment. You can come by our office, or with many of our companies, you can pay us over the phone. Many of our customers come through our drive-thru. We want to make it simple because life is already too complicated. Insurance Service Associates, 245 East Main Street, or you can call us at 245-5301.
Here's a Sheriff's Report recorded earlier for broadcast at this time. With the Sheriff's Report, here is Deputy Chapman.
In the last 24 hours, Sheriff's Office responded to 189 calls for service, have 165 incarcerated in the jail, and made 13 arrests. As far as arrest reports goes, we had a Amber Nicole Ray of a Lake Lure arrested for possession of methamphetamine and possessed drug paraphernalia. We had a Bridget Nicole of Bostic arrested for possession of methamphetamine, received a $5,000 unsecured bond. Had a Joe Dean Byers of Ruffton arrested for assault on a female, placed on no bond. Had a Shane Preston Cooper of Ruffton arrested for driving while license revoked, placed on a $500 secured bond. Had a Wilbur Henry Gordon of Shelby arrested for simple possession of Schedule 6 controlled substance, possessed drug paraphernalia, driving while license revoked. We had a Andrew Garing Dalton of Forest City arrested for secret peeping, second-degree trespass. Was placed on a $1,000 secured bond. I have Charles Dean Green of Ellenborough arrested for breaking and entering. That's all we have as far as arrest reports. As far as incident reports go, we have a John Earl Wharton reported felony larceny motor vehicle, Forest City. Had the Christian Fellowship Missionary Methodist Church reported and damage to property. Had Adam Kyle Tipton reported breaking and entering a larceny and larceny of a firearm. Heather Danielle Queen reported obtaining property by false pretenses. And that's all we have for today.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-486-1567. 800-486-1567. 800-486-1567.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission, license number TC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind.
Kids want to share what's going on in their lives with the adults around them. Parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches, and more. They want to know you're listening, and they want to listen to you. They want your input and guidance, early and often, on all kinds of topics. When it comes to a serious subject like underage drinking, they want to know your expectations, as well as how and why as a young person they should avoid alcohol. How you talk about it will change as your child grows, but the important thing is to talk about it. Not just once for an hour when you think the time is right, but in 60 one-minute conversations and more that are part of your everyday talks. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
When you need me, I'll be by your side.
NCN Sports, I'm Rod Connett. Tonight, Game 1 of the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs for the Carolina Hurricanes as they will host the New Jersey Devils at PNC Arena in Raleigh. In the regular season, it was the Devils winning 3 of the 5 matchups, but it was the Canes that won the division just ahead of New Jersey. Tonight's game will start at 7 o'clock. It'll be nationally televised on ESPN. Last night on the ice, the Florida Panthers took Game 1 of their Eastern Conference semifinal series with the Maple Leafs 4-2, and in the West it was the Seattle Kraken beating the Dallas Stars 5-4 in overtime. NBA playoffs last night, the Knicks evened up their series with the Miami Heat with a 111-105 victory. In the Western Conference semifinals, Anthony Davis finished with 30 points and 23 rebounds to help the Lakers beat Steph Curry and the Warriors 117-112 in Game 1. On the diamond, the Atlanta Braves shut out the Miami Marlins 6-0 last night, and the Nationals beat the Cubs 4-1, and the Orioles had 15 hits in their 11-7 win over the Royals. Minor league action around the state of North Carolina. The Durham Bulls lost to Norfolk 12-8. The Charlotte Knights lost to Gwinnett 10-2. Single A action, the Carolina Mudcats got a 9-7 win over Delmarva. Winston-Salem got an 8-7 walk-off victory over Greensboro. Hickory lost to Jersey Shore 7-5. Asheville lost to Greenville 5-1. Kannapolis fell to Augusta 11-7. And Fayetteville lost to Salem 12-2. NASCAR news, Toyota will finally expand its fleet in NASCAR by adding Jimmy Johnson's 2-car team next year. The addition of Legacy Motor Club will give Toyota 8 cars in the Cup Series. You're listening to NCN Sports.
I have to stay on schedule and keep passengers safe, and I need you to do the same. That means getting regular checkups for your health and also getting your COVID-19 vaccines. If you haven't had one since Labor Day, you're due for an update. Time to go. Life is calling. Don't let COVID get in the way. Get vaccinated.
Get your updated COVID-19 vaccine. It protects you against severe illness. Find yours at myspot.nc.gov.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power is there when you need it, with a reliability rating of 99.9%. And as a public power customer, you experience fewer outages and faster restoration compared to those served by other electric providers. Better reliability, fewer outages, faster restoration. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
A former NFL first-round pick has agreed to a plea deal following a fatal crash in 2021.
Ex-Las Vegas Raiders player Henry Ruggs told a judge Tuesday he will admit that he drove drunk at speeds up to 156 miles per hour, causing a fiery crash that killed a woman. His plea deal is expected to send the 24-year-old first-round NFL draft pick to state prison for 3 to 10 years. Ruggs waived a long-delayed preliminary hearing with the agreement to admit that he drove under the influence of alcohol causing causing death. A 6-month sentence for a guilty plea to misdemeanor manslaughter will be folded in with the total. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
And horse racing fans are gearing up for Saturday's Kentucky Derby. Right now, Forte is the favorite to win at 3-1 odds, followed by Tappet Trice at 5-1. Rob Conant, NCN Sports.
This is Kevin Pleasant here in the Blue Room taking a look at your weather forecast. You can expect today to be mostly sunny, high near 71, gusty winds up to 24 miles per hour. Overnight, mostly clear and lows around 41. For Thursday, mostly sunny, highs around 74. Overnight, Thursday, mostly clear with lows around 51. And then for Friday, mostly sunny, highs reaching about 73, wind gust up to 18 miles per hour. This has been your weather forecast here on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherford.
Well, the sun has gone behind the clouds. The wind's picking up. It's supposed to be sunny today, and our best chance of rain comes on Friday. Maybe we got a sneaky shower about there trying to set in. I don't know. The weather this time of year is kind of creepy. 52 degrees right now, and it's time now for the Word of Faith program. With the program this morning is Jane Calder.
Good morning. Welcome to our Word of Faith radio program. My name is Jane Calder, and I'm so happy to be with you all today. And I just want to start out by saying I am so grateful every day of my life. I just can't thank God for the life that He's given to me. And I count it an honor and a privilege, and I am so blessed to know Jesus and to have Him in my life. And no matter what we go through, no matter what we walk through in life, He is always there to help us walk through whatever we need. He's always there for us. And every person is born to know God. Every person is born with the call of God on their life. And it's a choice we have to make. It's a choice every day we have to make, to turn our hearts to God, to open our hearts to Him, to serve Him. And God says in His Word, today I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. And that's what we want in our life. We want to turn to Jesus. We want the blessings of God in our life. And so today, if I can encourage you to turn your hearts to Jesus, to open your hearts to Him, and let Him put your life on the right path. So first I wanted to start out by going to Deuteronomy 30. And it says in verse 10, if you obey the voice of the Lord your God to keep His commandments and His statutes, which are written in the book of the law, and if you turn to the Lord with all of your mind and all of your heart and all of your being, for this commandment which I command you today is not too difficult. So God's word is not too difficult. And the plan of God for our life is not too difficult. And it's not hard to attain it in our life, nor is it far off. It's God's plan for our life is right there for us if we just turn to Him. It is not a secret laid up in heaven that you should say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it down to us that we may do it. Neither is it beyond the sea that you should say, who shall go over to the sea and bring it to us that we may hear and do it. But the word is very near you and in your mouth and in your mind and in your heart. It's right there for us to turn our hearts, even right now as you're listening, so you can do it. And it says in verse 15, see, I have set before you this day, today, God has set before us life and death, blessings and curses, death and evil. So it's our choice today. What do we want to choose for our life? And if you obey, it says, the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you today, to love the Lord your God and to walk in His ways and to keep His commandments and His statutes and His ordinances, then you shall live and multiply, and the Lord your God will bless you in the land which you go to possess. So God has a good life for each and every one of us. He has a good plan for each and every one of us. And it's right there for us to attain it. It's right there when we turn to Him and cry out to Him. But it says, but if your mind and your heart turn away, and you will not hear, but are drawn away to worship other gods and serve Him. And other gods could be anything in our life that take first place in our life other than serving God. And it could be sports, it could be drinking, it could be music, it could be a relationship, anything that takes first place in our life other than giving our hearts to Jesus and doing his will. And he said, I declare to you today that you shall surely perish, and I call heaven and earth to witness this day against you, that I have set before you life and death. And again, we want life. We want to choose life. Nobody wants to choose death. And blessings and curses. Therefore, choose life that you and your descendants may live. And may the Lord your God obey his voice and cling to him. For he is your life and the length of your days. And he's our life. He is our very being. And it says in Luke 4:18, Jesus said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me and to preach the good news to the poor. He has sent me to announce release to the captives, to heal the brokenhearted, and recovery of sight to the blind. So there is nothing Jesus won't do for you today. There's nothing Jesus won't do for me. He has set forth as delivered those who are oppressed, who are downtrodden, who are bruised, and they're crushed down, broken down by calamity and sin and tragedy. And that was my life. And I could read this scripture and I could relate to that. That was my life. I was oppressed. I was downtrodden. I was crushed. Why? Because I didn't know Jesus. I didn't have Jesus in my life. And we could turn to him. And now I could read this and I look back and I say, that was my life. But every day as I turn to him, he's bringing me out of that more and more. And it says in John 10:10, the thief comes only in order to steal, kill, and destroy. And Jesus came that we could have life and enjoy life and have it in abundance to the full until it overflows. That's what he has for us, a life overflowing when we turn to him. There is a path for every single one of our lives. And we could turn to Jesus and he will walk us in that path. And he is no respecter of persons. When what God has done for me, what God has done for others, you might think that God's life, what God has for this person is different than what God has for you. And God doesn't have good things for your life. Well, God is not a respecter of persons. What he has done for this person, he will do for you. It says he shows no partiality. There is no undue fairness. And with him, not one man is different than another. And we're all individuals, and there's different things that God has given us, different gifts God has given us, but each one of us, God loves us equally the same. He will do what he has done for this person. He will do for you what he has done for me. He will do for you. And it says, yet God's grace, his unmerited favor, and his ability was given to each one of us individually. God's ability can come on the inside of you for his gift, for his call, for his path to come to pass in your life. It says not indiscriminately, but in different ways. So it's different gifts in each one of our lives in proportion to the measure of Christ's rich and bountiful gift. And God's gift is bountiful. There is no limit to what God can do in your life. If you just turn to him and you obey him and you serve him and you purpose in your heart, you want the will of God for your life. And he has a plan, and he's got a purpose for each one of our lives. He's got an individual calling for each one of our lives. So God has a plan. He has a purpose. We weren't just born just to be born. For each and every person on the face of the earth, there's a plan, there's a purpose, there is the call of God on our life, and there's a path for our life. It says in Psalm 16:11, "You will show me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy, and in your right hand there are pleasures forevermore." So there is a path, and God will show it to us. And I know, like I started at the beginning, I'm so grateful for the plan of God on my life. And every day I'm so grateful because God has shown me the path for my life. And God has put me in his will. But it was nothing that I've done. It's nothing of my own doing other than me turning my heart to him and obeying him and trusting him. And it says the Lord, thoughts and plans for welfare and peace and not for evil. So who doesn't want welfare and peace? None of us want evil in our life, and to give us hope in our final outcome. And that's our God. That's who we serve. We serve a big God to give us hope no matter what we're walking through when we turn to him and when we trust him. It says, "Then you will call upon me and you will come and pray to me, and I will hear and heed you." He will hear us and he will heed us. He is longing for us to turn to him and cry out to him. And it says, "You will seek me, inquire for, and require me as your vital necessity," as our vital necessity, that we want him more than anything in our life, that we want the will of God more than anything in our life, more than a relationship, more than anything we can imagine. We want to turn our hearts, and he'll work that in your heart. And you might say, "I don't feel that, I don't think that way," but all you have to do is turn to him and say, "Jesus, I want that for my life. Change my heart." Even right now as you're listening, you can turn your heart to him and say, "Jesus, I want this for my life. I don't even know how to get there. I don't even know how to start, but please help me." And it says, "And you will find me when you search for me with all of your heart. And I will be found by you, says the Lord, and I will release you from your captivity." And at the end of our program today, I've asked Jessie Farmer to sing for us today, and you'll see the heart of God as she sings some part of the verse in that is in the song that she'll sing. And it says in Ephesians 1, it says, "Just as in his love he chose us in Christ." So everything God does for us is in his love, and he chose us. He actually selected us. He selected me. He selected you for himself as his own. Before the foundation of the world, even before we were born, God knew us so that we could be holy, consecrated, set apart for him, purpose-driven, and blameless in his sight. In his love, he predestined us, and he lovingly planned for us to be adopted to himself as his own children through Jesus Christ, in accordance with the kind intention and good will of his pleasure. So it's in God's plan for his pleasure, the life that he has for us, to the praise of his glorious grace and favor, which he freely bestowed on us in Jesus. In him we have redemption, that is our deliverance and salvation through his blood. So God wants to deliver us, and he wants to save us. He wants us to give our lives to him and turn our hearts to him and bless our lives. And out of that, there is forgiveness and complete pardon for our sin. It says in Ephesians 2, "For we are God's own handiwork, his workmanship, recreated in Christ Jesus, born anew, that we may do good works which God predestined, planned beforehand." He planned beforehand, taking the paths, there it is, that path which he prepared for us ahead of time. Before we were ever born, God had a path that he prepared for us. And he is the creator of the universe. Don't we think that he knows what's best for our life? He does, and that we should walk in them, living the good life, which He prearranged for us and He made ready for us. So He prearranged and He made a good life for us. If we obey Him, if we turn to us, we don't have to live tormented. We don't have to live with that void on the inside of us. We don't have to live not knowing what tomorrow will hold and what's going to happen to our lives. We can trust Him with our life. In Proverbs 22, it says, there's a call of God even with our children, and it starts even before they were born. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and in the keeping with his individual gift, and when he is old, he'll not depart from that. And so there's an individual gift even as a child, and they grow up in that, and woe to those. And if we don't train up our children in the way God wants them to go, there's a big responsibility on our life, and we don't ever want to cause a little one to stumble. So in Romans 11:29, it says, God's gifts and His call is irrevocable. And God doesn't change His mind. When He has a plan and a purpose for our life, He doesn't withdraw it once they are given. He does not change His mind about it to those that He gives His grace or to whom He sends His call. So He doesn't, He never goes back on His word. And I looked up the word irrevocable. It says unalterable, it's final, it cannot be reversed, and it's permanent. And it has fixed boundaries. And there are boundaries in our life. There's places God has placed us in certain places in our life, where we're to be, the church we're to be in, wherever God's called us to be. And that's where we're going to grow, and that's where we're going to change. And it says in Hebrews 6, accordingly, it is His desire and show more convincingly and beyond doubt to those who were to inherit the promise, the unchangeableness of His purpose and plan. So God's plan does not change, and His purpose, and He made a promise, and God doesn't go back on His word, like I said. And it was by two unchangeable things. It was His promise and His oath, which it is impossible, it says, for God to ever lie or prove false or deceive us. So God's word is truth. No matter what we believe, no matter what we hear, Satan is the god of this world, and he will lie to you, he will deceive you, he will discourage you. But when we turn to God, He is our refuge, it says, and we who have fled to Him for refuge might have indwelling strength and strong encouragement to grasp and hold fast the hope appointed for us that is set before us. And that's what we want. That's what is that strong encouragement in our life to serve Him. And no matter where we go, no matter what, that plan will never change in our life. There's nowhere we can go on the face of this earth. There's nowhere we could turn. And deep down in our hearts, and if we totally are honest with ourselves on the inside of us, we know that there is a plan of God for our life. We know there's a void in our life that only God can fill. It says in Ecclesiastes that He made everything beautiful in His time, and He has planted eternity in men's hearts. And that's every person. He's planted eternity in our hearts. He's placed it there. And in our minds and in our hearts, it's a divinely implanted sense of purpose. That purpose working on the inside of us through the ages that nothing under the sun can ever satisfy. So, and nothing but God can ever satisfy it. So that seed has been planted in our hearts even before we were ever born. And that longing is in our hearts to know God and have a desire for Him. And that will never, ever be satisfied unless we turn our hearts to Him and we cry out to Him and we allow His will to work in our hearts. It says in Romans 1:20, it says, for ever since the creation of the world, His invisible attributes, His eternal power and divine nature has been clearly seen. He said it's been clearly seen and being understood through his workmanship, all his creation, and the wonderful things he has made, so that we who fail to believe and trust him are without excuse and without defense. So we're without excuse. And if we can't clearly see what God has done, if we can't clearly see when we look around and see the work of his hands, then there's blinders on our eyes, and we don't want those blinders on our eyes. We want those blinders to be taken off of us, because like I said, Satan is the god of this world, and he's blinded our eyes. And when we turn to Jesus, he'll take those blinders off, and you'll see what God has for your life. You'll see the plan of God for your life. It says in Psalms 14, an empty-headed fool has said in his heart, there is no God. And it says they are corrupt, and they have done abominable deeds, and there is none that does good. So we can't run from the call of God, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person, that fool that says there is no God. And when we don't turn to God and we don't trust him with our life, then it's as if we're saying, God, you're not there, and you don't exist, and you can't. We're not trusting him to do what he needs to do in our life. And it says in Psalms 139, and I love this, and he said, O Lord, you have searched me thoroughly, and you have known me. You know my downsitting, and you know my uprising. You understand my thought afar off, and so he knows everything about us. You sift and you search out my path and my lying down, and you are acquainted with all our ways. For there is not a word in my tongue still unuttered, but behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. And he knows me better than I know myself. He knows you better than you know yourself. You have beset me and shut me in, behind and before, and you have laid your hand upon me. Your infinite knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high above me, and I cannot reach it. It says, where could I go from your spirit? So there's nowhere we can go. There's nowhere we could run from the call of God on our life, from what he has for us. Or where can I flee from your presence? There's nowhere. There's nowhere we can go that will ever satisfy us. If I ascend up into heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, the place of the dead, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning or dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall your hand lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. And if I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the night shall be my only light, even the darkness hides nothing from you. There's nowhere we can go to run from God. But the night shines as the day, and the darkness and the light are both alike to you. For you did form my inward part, and you did knit me together in my mother's womb. So it's God. It is God that has made us. It is God that knows what we need in our life. We don't make the decisions for our life. All we do is turn to him and hear his voice and obey him. I will confess and praise you, for you are fearful and wonderful, and the awful wonder of my birth. Wonderful are your works, and that my inner self knows it right well. So right there it says, my inner self knows it right well. We know in our hearts. We know in our hearts what is right and what is wrong. We know, and God's work is wonderful in our life when we turn to him. And my frame was not hidden from you. When I was being formed in secret and intricately and curiously wrought, as if embroidered with various colors in the depths of the earth. And your eyes saw my unformed substance. And in your book, all the days of my life were written before they ever took shape. And there's a book with our life in it. And every day we could turn to God and we could cry out to him for his will. Today we can cry out and ask him for his will for our life. And in that book, his will for our life is written. And how precious and weighty are your thoughts towards me, O God. How vast is the sum of them. If I could count them, they would be more than the sand. And how much does God love us? I mean, that's how he thinks about us. How precious and weighty are his thoughts towards us. And you might feel like God doesn't care about you. You might feel like God is far off. He's not. He is right there for us. He's right there for you to turn your heart to him. And it says in Ecclesiastes 12:1, and it says, remember God in your youth, thoughtfully also your Creator in the days of your youth, that you are not your own. God, we are bought and paid with a price, and our life is not our own. And before the evil day or the years draw near, when you will say of physical pleasures, I have no enjoyment or delight in them. And we don't want our life to come to the point where we don't enjoy it. We don't want our life. We want God's will in our life. And it says, earnestly remember your Creator before the silver cord of life is broken, or the golden bowl is crushed, and the pitcher at the fountain is shattered, and the wheel and cistern is crushed. And our life is but a vapor, and we don't know what tomorrow holds. And so we can't think that we can do what we want to do, and our own thoughts and our own plans. And it says in Proverbs 19:21, many are the plans of a man, but the Lord's purpose for him is what will stand. And it says in John 3:27, a man can receive nothing, he can claim nothing unless it is granted to him from heaven, for there is no other source than the sovereign God. And everything will burn in our life other than the will of God. And let's read Ecclesiastes. It says, all has been heard, and the end of the matter is fear God, revere and worship him, knowing that he is, and keep his commandments, for this is the whole of man, the original purpose of creation, the objects of God's providence, the root of character, the foundation of all happiness and adjustment to all inharmonious circumstances and condition under the sun, the whole of man. And that's what God has for us. That is what we want in our life, and to serve him and find the purpose of God in our life, what he has for us. And if we turn to him and we cry out to him, and I can't stress it enough, his will come to pass in your life, because it's God that's at working in us. It's not in our own ability. It's him that we turn to. So right now I'm going to ask Jesse to sing for us, and just open up your hearts and let the words go in your heart, and you'll feel the heart of God as she sings.
Many men have dreams and thoughts apart from me that lead them only into harlotry, and what torment they live in because of their sin of separating themselves from me. And oh, what devastation and despair this brings to them. I know the thoughts and plans that I have for you, thoughts and plans for welfare and peace, not for evil, to bring you hope in your final outcome. Why doubt me? You will call upon me power of my glorious grace may be demonstrated in you, so that the world may see me living in you, so that the world may see me living in you.
You could feel God's love as Jessica was singing, and you could see God has a plan and a purpose for your life. And the plan that God has for your life, and He will do exceedingly abundantly above and beyond, the Bible says, all that we could ever ask or dare think in our life. And we serve a big God. And I'm so grateful to have you with us today, and thank you for joining us. And you can listen to our radio programs Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 in the morning to 9 o'clock. And you can listen to our radio programs. You can go back and listen to them at www.wordoffaithfellowship.org. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
The music's on us on WCAB.